Thank you so much, Ilan. Thank you so much, Aniella, for coming here. For you to know, Igal really is so much connecting us with Israel, connecting us with the heart of Israel. And that's what you said before when we were together with the organizers. You are giving your heart, but you're also connecting us with the heart of Israel. And maybe Aniella, first of all, you are from Metula, and we'll speak about this in a minute, but you have this heart here. Maybe you can show this. It's a heart with a house in the middle of it. Can you explain what does that mean?
It means that my house is in my heart, but it's like a hole because I'm not there now.
So you are from Metula, in the very north of Israel. I don't know if everyone here is aware where Metula is. Can you explain where is Metula? It's beautiful, but where is it?
Metula is the most northern village. It's not even a town. In the north of Israel, few meters from the border with Lebanon. Metula is surrounded from east, west, and north by Lebanon and Syria. We have only one way out of Metula, to the south. And the border surrounded us very close. And that is our place. The most beautiful place in Israel. In my eyes, you know, I'm very objective.
So, Aniella, can you help us explain? So, October 7th happened in the south. We are aware of what happened, and we'll talk to Ilan a little bit later about what this meant also for the people. But what happened in the north? What happened in Metula on October 7th and October 8th?
We heard on the radio, it was holiday, Simchat Torah, and Saturday. I start hearing the alarms in the south because we hear it on the radio. Immediately we understood that something unusual is going on in the south. My daughter lived then with her family, with us in our home, and immediately she knew what happened there because her best friend lived in Kibbutz Be'eri. And immediately we knew that something horrible is going on there. And we had bad experience with Hezbollah, the other terror organizations in the north, and we knew that we are in immediate danger. Even if we were used to live under shelling, under bombs, we have shelter at home. But we knew that this time it is different. And speaking the truth, my daughter said to me, "Mommy, I'm here with 2 children. I will not stay here, I'm afraid." So I took her and we left Metula. My husband stayed at home with my son. And that was the moment when we left home. Few days later, all the citizens of Metula were evacuated by the army. And our area was declared military zone, forbidden for citizens to be there. So we are out of our home almost 15 months. Just on last December, we were allowed to go back to check what happened in our houses and our homes.
Yes, so to explain this, so you explained where Metula is, but it's really, literally, you can see the white of the eye of the Hezbollah fighters. I was there. There's before October 7th. I was there, and you can if you're right at the border, and like 50 meters away from you, there's the flag of Hezbollah. They found tunnels built there into Metula. They plan to do exactly the same that they did in the south. I understand that. But what did Hezbollah do? What happened then from October 8th?
It didn't take much time. They start immediately shooting on Metula. And before, we knew that they can invade Metula in minutes, because you saw the road when we were standing the last march of life. They just have to cross an iron gate, some gate that you have in front of your houses.
Yeah, it's so close, and so you were evacuated, and Hezbollah started to shoot rockets. What happened in Metula? What is the state of Metula now? Yeah.
Because they were very close to Metula, few meters from Metula, they could target a house by house. More than 60% of the houses in Metula were completely destroyed. So it means that 60% of the families do not have home to go back. They have to wait until they will build their home from scratch.
So you were able to go back to Metula now. Can you explain to us how it was for you to go back to Metula 15 months, not being there? You left the house on October 7th with your daughter and the kids, and you haven't been back, and now coming back. What was it like, and what does your house look like now?
We were lucky. Our house was damaged, but still exists. I enter my home. It's not a house, it's a home. It was not easy. It was not easy. I didn't know what to do. I forgot where the things are. I have to remember where I put my glass of coffee. And I stood there and I was crying, just crying. I understood that I missed so much my home and my place. And that was the moment that I decided that I will be back. I will not leave my home.
So you are going back. Is it already possible to be, like, what is the situation now in the north? Can you already be there? Of course, you're rebuilding the house. Can you explain us a bit what the project is, what's going on, how you live now? Yeah.
Today, we do not know if we can go back, because only tomorrow, on the 18th of February, the ceasefire between a democratic state of Israel, and a terror organization, the ceasefire stopped tomorrow. And only tomorrow we will know if we are allowed to go back. Until now, no civilians are allowed to stay in Metula.
So you can go in and out. So that's what you can do. Yeah.
Yes, we can go into Metula. We have to prove that we are citizen and we are living permanently in Metula, because the only gate we have in Metula is closed, and we have guards that watching who is going into the place.
So, looking in the future, Aniella, gives you hope in this time? What is giving you hope?
Maybe you won't believe me, but what gives me hope is the fact that I believe in Israel, I believe in God, and I started to believe in human when I see you. You are the proof that the world is not so evil, that the world is full with good people that are not turning their eyes and they are courageous enough to stand up and to break the silence, to break this wall. So you are giving me and us the hope that everything will be okay.
Thank you so much, Aniella. And let me add a bit background information. So Aniella has been organizing 2 marches of the nations in 2020 and 2023 together with us in Metula. And then October 7th came, and we really, and Jobs already said that we would love to come to Metula this year. If it's possible, we have to see how things develop and maybe walk from the kibbutzim around it to Metula and bring this message of hope to the north and to Metula again. And you are such a encouragement also for us, like having this, going back to the situation, being resilient and also so determined to go back to rebuild. So thank you so much, Aniella. Please give her a big hand again. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Ilan, so we heard the story of Guy. You shared it here in an amazing way, and we admire your strength to do that. But let's go a bit more in detail what happened on October 7th. Let's go back to October 7th. And you told us the story about your 2 sons, both at the Nova Festival. One of them escaped, the other one was taken captive. Can you take us a bit into the day of October 7th as the news unfold and as you got the information, what happened? When did you get the news? How was it for you? What happened on that day?
So on October 7th, my wife woke me up at about 7 o'clock in the morning. There was alarm all over Israel. In our settlement, it became a little bit later. And she told me there are missiles and terrorists penetrated Israel all over. I just couldn't believe it, and we went to the television, we opened the television, and we saw what's going on. At first, I didn't know that my son, I know that he's in the music festival, but I didn't know that it was so close to Gaza. I thought it was somewhere near Beersheba, because they just moved it a few days before to the Gaza, to near Gaza Strip. And we tried to contact Guy, we couldn't. We tried to contact Gal, and we couldn't. And we just began to see information flowing in the social networks, and we started to understand that there's a massacre that's going on there. In some point, about an hour later, we didn't have a contact with any of them, and I just prepared myself to the worst. And we tried to call hospitals and find out if they have names. They didn't have names. It was a chaos in Israel in that day. Nothing was working. People was hysterical, and I started to call whoever I can just to get some information. And at about 8:30, my son Gal called us, and he told us that he was talking with one of Guy's friends that was with him, and he told him that they are hiding behind some structure, and there are 4 policemen that guarding them. 15 minutes later, this lady that was with the guy sent a picture to her mother, where she and her boyfriend are hiding behind the bush. I showed you this picture yesterday. And the 4 policemen that were guarding them were dead. And she didn't know what's going on with Guy and Aviatar, his friend. And since then, the connection with her and her boyfriend was lost. And Gal was in this very moment running and hiding. He didn't know what's going on with his brother, but he told us that he's hiding someplace, and every time a terrorist got near him, he ran to another place and then ran to another place. And in some point, I thought that I should go to the hospitals and try to find out what is going on. And we saw on the social network that there are some lists of people that got rescued from the music festival that hiding in some settlements around Gaza, like in Patish. There was like 100 people that were saved and went into there, and they were published their names in the social media. We go through the list. We didn't see Guy in there. Luckily, all this time we had a connection with Gal. He managed to call us every time to time and tell us what's going on with him. With Guy, we didn't have any connection. So when I prepared myself to go to the area and start looking, suddenly the aunt of Guy, my wife's sister, suddenly came to us and showed us a video where we see Guy and 4 other people from this party in a dark room, handcuffs, frightening, and some terrorists flashing them and asking them to say something. We couldn't understand what they trying to say because there was loud Arabic music in the background. And this is how we found out that Guy is kidnapped, actually. In this moment, our world turned upside down. My wife started to cry, and there were people that coming into our house, medical people, and tried to relax us. It was the most horrible moment in my life. In some point, I thought that I felt a little bit relieved that he was not murdered, because we already knew that there was a massacre going on, and many people were murdered in this place. And once I saw him in captivity, I thought that maybe it wouldn't take so long, maybe a week or 2 before he will come back. And it didn't. So it just took so long. But in that day, we really thought that he will come back soon.
So, so that was like you got that video on October 7th,
Yeah.
on the same day.
October 7 at 12 o'clock, we already knew that he is kidnapped.
And when did you get the news from Gal that he's safe, or like when did you know that he's in safety?
In this point, we didn't tell Gal that his brother is kidnapped because he was still in the field. He was still hiding. We didn't want to endanger him. And after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he was rescued by Israeli security forces and was taken to Ofakim police station. And from there, my wife's sister go there and took him. He didn't know that there were terrorists all around, and he came back. And when he came back home, I told him that his brother was kidnapped, and he started to cry, and he blamed himself that he couldn't keep him safe.
Wow. And have you received any notice from Guy since he was kidnapped? Have you had any pictures, any news that you got from him?
Actually, the video that we saw was the only footage we had from few months. We didn't hear anything about 3 months or 4 months. After 4 months, approximately, the intelligence told us that we have a sign of life, and they know that Guy is alive. They didn't tell us exactly what kind of sign of life, and we didn't saw any picture or heard any recording, but they told us that Guy is alive. And this is all we knew. And in this time, started to come other videos, like the one that they found on one of the terrorists, the actual kidnapping moment, or the moment that they loaded them on the truck into Gaza. These videos came months later. Until then, all we had is that video of them in the dark room, captured and terrified.
So you just said October 7th turned your life upside down.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit, what's your actual profession and how does your life look like now at the moment?
Yes. My profession, I'm a computer programmer, and I'm a photographer. I was photoing weddings at night and coding at the day. My wife is a cosmetician and a laser technician. We held 2 jobs, and we were working from sunlight to sundown every day. And from that day, we quit everything. And we are 100% dedicated in bringing Guy back home. And this is all we do. This is the mission of our life. And once he will get back, we'll see what we're going to do. But right now, this is only what we do.
And so we've spoken about it, and you are going to all the world. You're meeting leaders, world leaders. Your wife has been even to the Vatican, talking to the Pope about the hostages. Can you tell us a bit, what is the reaction of world leaders, and what do you feel about it, or what do you see there?
Well, I've been in a few countries like the UK, Romania. My wife been in Italy. They went to with my son. They went to the Vatican. They met with the Pope. Every time we go and we speak with officials, they always tell us what we need to hear. They tell us the right thing. Of course, we will do everything. We will help you. And we get back to Israel, and we really feel that we made the change, that we managed to help and move something. But a few days later, the UK voted for embargo weapon on Israel, and the Pope said that Israel is committing war crimes, and the suffering of the Gazan people is more important. So we actually understood that there's no real will to help, just to say things to us when we're there, and it was really hard to hear that.
Yeah, that's we see that, and it's so important. So right now we see hostages again being released. We see the difficult pictures. We have this first phase of the hostage deal. There might be a second phase. So how is it for you seeing these hostages coming out? What is it? How is that for you?
Well, the first deal it was in November 23. It was almost 2 months after the war started, and they started releasing people, and we thought that maybe it will continue and will release other hostages. But unfortunately, the deal was exploding after I think 80 or 90 hostages came back, most of them women and children, and then they came back to fight. And I thought maybe 1 month or 2 months there will be another deal, but it took a year and 3 months later, and right now, the deal is regarding only first phase. The first phase for humanitarian. Humanitarian considered women and elderly and people with sickness. And my son, Guy, is not supposed to be released in this phase. And we waiting for the second phase that there is no guarantee that it will happen right now. We sure hope that it will happen. When we see the people is coming back, of course, we're happy for every hostage that's coming out of hell and getting back to his family and to his life. But we cannot be with full joy because my son is still captive, is still in hell, is still in the tunnels right now as we speak. And we hope that the second phase will take place. This is why we do what we do right now. This is why my son Gal is now in Washington talking to officials, talking to media, trying to push from his side. We are with the forum headquarters of the families. We try to push in Israel. We try to make a difference as we do right now, just in order to make sure that the second phase will take place and where the young men should be released. We saw the condition of Eli Sharabi and the rest of the hostages that got released. At first, when the women got released, we saw them in pretty good shape, so we hoped that maybe they are treated well, but when we saw the last man coming out, we understood that they are in unhuman condition, and there is an urgency to get them back from there, and we are afraid. We're really scared that that it will not happen.
This is such a situation of pain and uncertainty. Ilan, what gives you hope, and what gives you hope in this time?
Well, what gives me hope first is the administration of America that changed. Before that, Biden had 1 year and 5 months, 3 months, when he did nothing. Actually, he only was an obstacle to continue to some kind of deal, because he was pressuring Israel more than he pressured Hamas. He was denying us from weapons that we needed. He gave other countries the opportunity to deny Israel also, and strengthen Hamas. And sometimes when there was a deal that was going on and Hamas saw that America and the rest of Europe are denying Israel, he just strengthened his thought and got back from the deal. And this is why it took so long, I think. Right now, I think that Trump has a main role in this first phase that is happening, and this is why people understood that they need to be in Washington right now and pressure on the officials there in order to continue for the second phase. We are doing it in Israel too. And I hope that right now, when the atmosphere is in favor of Israel, it will happen. And this gives me hope. More of that, we know that Prime Minister Netanyahu, talking to us a month ago, said that the time has come to release the hostages, and I think that he is now more willing to go to a deal that will release the hostages more than it was a month ago, and this gives us hopes too.
Thank you so much, Ilan, for sharing these insights and sharing your heart and your pain. And as a March of Life, and Job's already said this is so much in our heart, and it's very much in our prayers. That's what we can do, but it's also we're gonna not stop speak out for it. So thank you so much, Ilan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Igal, you are Israeli director. You are our connection to Israel. Maybe you can explain to us again, like as March of Life, what can we do to support the South, the North, the people of Israel? What is important in this time?
Before I speak about it, I want to give you a little example about very, very little thing. Aniella told you the story. Before you come here to Tübingen, I asked Aniella, please, from Friday evening, take the white shirts. What the answer? Igal, I cannot. The white shirts is in Metula. I live in Tiberias. I cannot go. It's something for change the life, this event. It's hard to me after what I know Ilan say and to speak, but I told you in Cafe Mazel Tov, we need you. We need your support. You can do it, all of you. Come to Israel in May. 14th of May is the time from the March of the Nation. It's the Independence Day for Israel. Heinz tell us we want to make 5 cities. No. I say 12. It's your mission. I look it for you. It's your mission to come. We need, the Israeli need your support. They see you. I can tell you, many mayor of cities ask me, Igal, bring it to my city. Bring the March of Life to my city. I cannot bring 2 people. I need to bring 100 people from March of Life from one city, the minimum. It's your mission. We need you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ilan, Aniella, Igal. So I
just want to say one thing.
Of course, yeah.
When I talked to Igal about 2 weeks ago and he asked me to come here, I really didn't know what to expect. I came here with no expectation, actually. And when I came here, I found such a supportive community, such warm people. You hug us and you wrap us, and you really do everything you do with great love to Israel and great will for the release of the hostages. And I can tell you that I get strength from you. So thank you very much for that.
When I ask family to come. I have more than 12 family for hostages, and I need to find one to come, one family. As I chose Ilan, I know the behavior for Ilan is directly what March of Life need. But I prepare Ilan what happened in March of Life conference. I understand, Ilan don't understand what happened. And now Ilan maybe understand more.